my nephew said, like, he didn't think we should do a podcast because we're white.
Well, it's arguing with Tom and Jerry. Arguing.
I'm Tom.
I'm Jerry.
Arguing with Tom and Jerry. Arguing.
He's Tom.
And he's Jerry.
We got telephones to say we can't say.
That's what we're listening to. I've got it turned up a little bit louder this time, hoping that it'll be loud enough that it's on the recording and interfering with the audio.
That's a good idea.
Except now I'm having trouble hearing you.
You can't have it all.
That's right. I was thinking about adult things. Like the things you do as an adult. Like
Why are you sideways on my phone?
I don't. I'm the way I always am. So we had a poker game at our house last night. I don't like this as much. I'm going to go back to this one. We had a poker game at our house last night, and I was thinking about the things you do as an adult, like just as common courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was wondering why, like, whose Band-Aid is this? You know? Like somebody left their Band-Aid on
That's disgusting.
on my floor last night with a
Looks
nice
like-
little blood spot there.
Sounds more like kids than adults.
Who does?
That's something a kid would do.
If you're an adult at an adult gathering or hanging out with friends, then do you just rip your Band-Aid off of your finger and just, who cares? Who cares where it lands?
No, that's gross. Those belong in the trash. That's something a little kid would do, you know? Speaking of kids, my nephew said, like, he didn't think we should do a podcast because we're white. He's like, oh yeah, of course you're doing a podcast. All podcasters are white. And I thought that was funny because one of the most recent podcasts I saw was two black guys, and they were talking about how wrong they were to judge Derek Chauvin the way they did. Like, they were saying that they were wrong about the whole thing.
Really?
And that really surprised me. I did not expect to hear that.
You didn't expect to hear that Derek Chauvin was wrong?
No, I didn't expect to hear these guys saying that they were wrong to think that Chauvin was so guilty. They were changing their mind on the whole thing. They were acting like he didn't do anything wrong.
Besides put his knee on the guy or whatever?
That's what I thought. I thought I saw it with my own eyes. There wasn't a lot to talk about, I didn't think. And these guys were saying, no, his knee was on his shoulder or something. And they saw some internet movie that changed their mind. But they didn't change my mind.
Didn't change my mind either. It seems like a pretty stupid internet movie to me.
Yeah, but those guys weren't white, and they did a podcast.
You don't have to be white to do a podcast.
I didn't think so. I don't know what he's talking about, my nephew. He thinks he knows everything. You know, kids, they think they know everything. I went to the sauna.
Hey, are you done getting the ice, dude?
Yo, was that loud?
Yeah. I just was wondering if you might be done getting the ice.
Yeah, I'm done. I went to the sauna, and then afterwards, I went to Chipotle. And
speaking of white people.
Yeah. Speaking of white people, there was a white guy behind me in line.
Yeah.
And he was doing that thing, like, I had two people in front of me. There was nowhere for me to go. But he like was standing like right next to me, like right behind me, like maybe if he got closer, then I would move, and then it would make a difference, like the line would go faster.
It'd make the line go faster?
It doesn't make any difference at all. So I turned my back to him, and then I kind of backed up a little bit, so I got
And
even
you
closer to him.
and you said, "I'll have the brown rice, sir."
I got white rice.
Oh, that's good.
I figure it's fortified with more vitamins.
I was continuing on this theme of things that adults do. I was thinking about as we were hosting this poker game last night, and then I I see that our trash can is overflowing with all of the uh, drink cups and
None of the adults took out the
QT
trash.
quarts. I don't, like I don't know if you're hanging out at your friend's house and maybe with some friends and maybe the trash can fills up. Do you take it upon yourself to maybe like I don't know, like empty the trash or say, hey, can I empty the trash? Or you just say, oh, it's these guys are the hosts, and so it's their job to
Mm.
empty the trash.
Yeah, I don't know that I would interfere with their method. If that's how they live.
What if you were over there like every month for said poker game,
I think
and
that's different.
you kind
Yeah,
of know how it works?
yeah. I think then maybe you even bring your own trash bag or
Maybe
can.
you just should bring your own trash bag.
Yeah. So like you take it out with you. Why would you come over constantly, over and over, and always leave trash every time you show up?
Why would you? And I would like to point out, why would you leave your Band-Aid
Case
on the
in
floor?
point. Exactly. You bring your own trash can, you put it right in there, you take it with you when you leave. Problem solved.
Just put your Band-Aid in the trash can that you brought. What about this? Do you ever have friends or relatives who are like, "Hey, I'm flying into Municipal City at 6 a.m. next Tuesday. I was wondering if you could pick me up at the airport."
It's not 1978. There's other ways to get around.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. I was. I agree, Jerry. I was thinking we're all adults here. We all have ways to get around. If I have the income to fly into Municipal City, I might be able to afford another $30 or $40 to take my happy ass to your house where I'm staying or the hotel or whatever at 6 in the morning. Or, hey, it's been good seeing you. I'm flying out of Municipal City at 3 a.m. on Saturday. I was wondering if you could take me to the airport.
Yeah, I guess some of us just don't. Like, I've been in an Uber,
Right.
but I've never like really set it up.
But you live by a philosophy of frugality. And
That's
so
true.
I would imagine that you might be one of these people who might be like, hey, I was wondering if you might be able to take me to the airport at 3 in the morning on Saturday after I drink all your Fireball on Friday night,
No,
and we're up drinking
no,
Fireball all night.
no, because what makes me frugal is a sensitivity to waste. And that follows that I don't waste. I try not to waste other people's resources and time.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
like feeling in debt to people, and if I do something like that, I feel indebted,
Hmm.
and I don't like having that hang over me.
Yep,
That's
I
what,
get
and
it.
it's a problem though because it makes me have a hard time accepting kindness and gifts from people because I translate it as, well, now I'm going to have to do something nice for them.
Yeah.
I'd rather just none of us be nice to anyone, and then you don't have to feel like you ever have to pay anything back.
Let's not be nice to one another, and let's just take care of our own business.
That way you're never in debt.
Yeah. I was also thinking about uh, adult things, like things that we do as adults, and um, That's a nice chair that you have.
You hear it squeak?
Yeah, I can hear it. Sounds just as loud as your ice machine.
People comment about the loudness of the squeak in my chair. I've had I've had guests offer to bring WD-40 over or something like that, and I don't like WD-40 because it attracts dust.
It does, but that's an adult thing to do. Is to put if you have a squeaky door or a or something like that, then you might use some WD-40 to like get
Yeah,
rid of
but
the
you see
squeak.
what I'm saying? Now it starts this whole thing. Now I have to go over to her house and like fix something over there. If she
I
fixes my chair, now I got to fix something like a desk or some or whatever it is.
didn't realize there was a her in the situation about the WD-40.
I don't see what difference it would make the gender,
Right.
you know. A squeaky chair, men and women can both hear the squeakiness in the
I
chair.
just feel like it's a little bit of a sign of like not taking care of your business as an adult if your stuff is
You,
squeaking, because you could very easily just like apply some WD-40 to
you
the
think
squeaky
it's you
bed.
think it's you're saying it's pathetic that a grown man would have a female offer to put some grease on a squeaky chair when instead of him doing it himself.
No, not at all. I was thinking though that have you ever been to a football game and
Yeah.
maybe at halftime you go to the toilet to take a piss and there's a big horse trough, like there's a big horse trough to pee in as a man. Thinking like as a grown man you might go, let's say it's at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. You might go like you might need to go relieve yourself, and there's a big horse trough, and some people might be pee shy, and they might stand there at the horse trough like, and they might like kind of be like,
Why would they be looking around?
I don't
That's
know, but I think that
I wouldn't look around. I
well
wouldn't be
they're
scanning the room if I
or
was.
they're self conscious, or so maybe it might be like this. Maybe they're like
Mhm.
this, and they
That's more respectful.
and they're struggling to get it going. You know,
Oh, I see what
they're
you're
struck
saying.
they're pee shy. They're struggling to get it going. And so the microcosm of this is that sometimes I might have friends over to my house, and in my house I have in our bathroom a window, and I like to keep the blinds. I have blinds in the window. I like to keep the blinds semi open, you know, and there are a few friends who every time after they come visit, the blinds are completely shut.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense at all. It kind of
Un
upsets.
Unless you have a, I've noticed this before at your house,
Hmm.
and I've thought, I mean, if you're out there in the patio thing area, I mean, could you theoretically, you could maybe see in the thing. I don't know if you could see in or not.
Who cares? Like
Some people have different, some people
what's
have
the
a different threshold, you know, a different levels of needs for privacy.
there's literally a half acre between me and my neighbors, and there's a single
Yeah,
window, and
I know. It makes,
you'd have to purposely
we're all
like
wired different,
intentionally be looking in, and
right?
even if you were, who cares? but but after these particular individuals come visit my house, I go into my bathroom, and the blinds are entirely closed, and it's like a cave in there, and I don't need a cave when when I'm utilizing the toilet. I like to have some daylight, just like most of the spaces. It makes no sense to me, and I
It would be
yep.
fun to analyze these people who do this because
Oh, I have.
I am
Oh,
one
I
of
have.
these people who would be likely to do something like that because of well, I don't know if it's because of, but I find it interesting that as a you know, a Virgo sun person, I'm pretty private, and then being a Scorpio rising person at the same time, I'm extremely like reclusive and private, and so I could completely see myself doing that, and it'd be fun to see what the astrology is with these other people who do this at your house.
If you're in someone else's house, you typically kind of, as a common courtesy, abide by whatever their thing is. Like I have some friends,
Do you have a
and
sign? You don't have a sign that says "Do not lower blinds."
I don't have a sign up in the bathroom that says "Do not
Because
lower
see,
blinds."
I
But
would respect that. I would respect that.
well, maybe I'll do that then. But like for
Why do you
instance,
care? Why don't you just open the blinds up after they leave? Why can't they feel comfortable
well, I
as a
do.
guest in your house? What kind of host are you trying to be if you want your guests to be so uncomfortable?
Okay, for instance, I have some liberal friends who they they expect you to take your shoes off every time you walk in their house. It doesn't matter if it's winter time and you're dragging snow salt in. It could be springtime. Take your shoes off. We don't want your shoes on our gorgeous, pristine floors.
Yeah, we want your filthy, disgusting feet all over our floors. That's
We'd
what we
rather have
want.
your disgusting, filthy, bare feet
Yeah,
all over our
that that
floors.
makes no sense to me.
But you know what? I take my shoes off and I don't walk around their house in my shoes.
Well,
And
yeah, I'll tell
oh
you
hey,
what. If this app that we're using keeps dropping, I'm gonna start looking for something else.
yeah, I'm gonna start using the
Well, I was
Zoom
gonna say,
application.
it sounds like you need to pull out a page from your liberal friends book, and when you have these Virgo friends come over, the first
Put
thing
a
you tell
sign
them when
up.
they walk in
Tell
is
them.
don't close the blinds in the bathroom. Leave them open.
Hey, listen, you guys are welcome to be here. My home is your home, but
Right. They,
don't let him. Like, look at that. Now I'm just holding him by his head, and he can't go
did you
anywhere.
tell I got kicked out again? Hey, I was gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
You ever run into someone with a kind of a cowboy radio voice who every time he says anything at all, and he might go on and on and on about this and that, but you
Mhm.
listen because it sounds, way he talks,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of very specific kind of inflection, you know, on
Hmm.
everything he says.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, the stories are always they don't go anywhere. There's no punchline. You never arrive someplace. It's like he's constantly leading you along with the sound of his voice, like a radio voice. But there's never any kind of payoff. It never gets anywhere. It just ends up nothing, and then he walks away and sniffs. Hey, it looks like we're going to get Nance and Romo. The very first game that I saw Romo do, I thought he was going to be a disaster, and ever since then, I've been a big fan. He brought me around somehow. I like him. The very first game I heard him do, though, he said to Nance, the game's getting ready to start," and
Yeah.
I kind of think it was his first game, and he's talking about one of the players on one of the teams stuff, and where he played high school and college and stuff, and Jim. I mean, he's real good. Like after all his details, he ended up just summing it up by saying, "I mean, he's real good."
Yeah. Thanks for the insight, Tony Romo. He's terrible, and all ex-Dallas Cowboys are terrible, and I'm not in support of the Dallas Cowboys conspiracy. I was also thinking about, from an adult perspective, things you do as an adult. You don't work from home if you are an adult.
Man, I would love to work from home.
You'd like
Yeah,
that?
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. what are you saying that you're gaining by working from home? Let's say if you
Well,
live in the same town as your business is in. I live in this town.
I'm
There's
not
a
saying I should be
there's a
allowed
brick and
to. I'm
mortar
just saying
facility
if I could
where
pull it
I'm
off.
supposed to work, but I'm going to work from home. And so what I hear when I'm working at that facility is I have some other shit that I'd like to do
Yeah.
rather than working. And so I'm going to do some other shit while I'm working. And I stress like I'm going to do some working and then I'm going to do some other shit. Like I'm going to wash some dishes. I'm going to take out the dog. I'm going to do my laundry. And I'd really like to work from home, 20 hours a week.
I have no idea why it's allowed so much, but man, if I could pull it off, I would love it.
We usually have poker in this room, and I since the last time we had poker, I had installed a bunch of what is that?
That was the chair again.
I had installed a bunch of mirrors all over the walls and ceilings because I wanted to live in a room full of mirrors. And then everybody got over here and they were complaining about the fact that they were playing poker in a room full of mirrors. And I don't really understand what the big problem is. So for instance, if I were if there were a mirror behind me and I'm playing poker, then I might be like, reading my cards.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'll let you get your chips out of your bag, dude.
It's not chips. It's a veggie bowl with free guac. You get a veggie bowl, they give you free guacamole.
So I'm like, if potentially if I were playing poker, then I might like be hanging out like this, and the guy on the other side of me, he might see this, and I don't know much about poker. I don't know what
They're worried. I'll
the
tell
big
you what,
deal
they're
is.
they're worrying about nothing because the image they're going to see is going to be in reverse and it's not going to make any sense. So they won't be able to do anything with the information that they see. It'll be backwards. Apparently, that's it for this session of this episode of Arguing with Tom and Jerry. And don't forget, if you're out on, say, a mid-August day around 2:30 in the afternoon, hottest time of year, hottest day of the year, and you see the like button hitchhiking, and it's got no water and nothing, you just drive right on past that like button, maybe honk and wave. That's it for me. I'm Jerry.
Hello?